All right, Coach, first up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports.
Hey, Monty, what are your overall thoughts on the game today?
Well, obviously, giving up 128 points is not something that, we are used to doing. I thought our third quarter defense was below our standards, and I get Kevin Durant started, but he had 38 points in the third. I thought that was a bit of a deflator for us. And then again, we didn't generate enough threes, but we shot 12 for 34. But that number doesn't bother me as much as, we just missed a lot of open shots. Couldn't take advantage of the open looks that we had and that kind of thing. But it's just a tough game, a tough team to play against when you can't generate the kind of offense you need in moments. We scored 119 points, but a lot of those points were, long twos, or twos in the paint that weren't by the rim. We have to be able to generate threes and take advantage of DA at the rim. I didn't think we did that well enough tonight. And then, two guys had really good nights for them. And their other guys, really physical on defense. I thought that took a toll on us, their ability to put their hands on us a little bit. But, we got a chance tomorrow to get a win and make this a winning trip. So that's where my mind is right now.
With the level that Kevin and Kyrie were playing at, can this game be a good example for you guys of how small the margin of error can be against teams like this sometimes?
No doubt. I mean, we had a bit of a margin in the third, and, they had not easy buckets, but they were able to score and cut the lead to 2 points at halftime. I thought that was a huge moment for us. And then we came out in the third and gave up 38 points. And so when you're playing against two guys like that with that much talent, it's hard to overcome the lack of scoring. And in that moment right before halftime where we couldn't get enough stops and score, I thought we could have, if we could have scored and got stops, we could have gone into halftime with the double-digit lead. Instead, we went in with a 2-point lead. I thought that kind of changed the momentum a little bit.
Next is Gerald Brigay with Fansided, and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Coach, you were talking about the three-point shooting, not generating enough looks, but with the ones that you did get, a couple of them were pretty wide open and just weren't falling. Like you said. On the road, is that, tired legs and being on the road trip? Is that just one of those flukish one-game things, or what are you seeing from it?
Well, it's 2 games in a row. We've had a lot of wide open looks. We haven't been able to knock them down. So that means we're due. That's how I see it. When this team shoots like that, 2 games in a row, you get a bit excited because right around the corner you should have a night where the ball starts falling. I just don't want our guys thinking about not taking shots. I thought we had more open looks tonight and we turned them down. And we can't be a team that turns down open looks. Our MO has always been let it fly. But you're right, we had a number of open looks tonight. We just couldn't knock them down.
Cam and Mikal have obviously struggled the last couple of games on that front. With guys that can knock down those looks in your coaching career, guys are going to go through slumps. They're going to get hot over this long season. Is there anything that you can kind of do to help them snap out of it? Or is that just one of those things where, like you're saying, it's going to happen eventually?
No, it's going to happen, but I can just continue to encourage them like I do, our staff does. You have to trust the work. Reps were moved out. And the guys have gotten their reps in. It happens to everybody over the course of a season and your career. You're going to run into moments in your career or seasons or a week or so or a couple games where you don't knock down shots, but you have to trust all the work that you put in. And we're going to continue to encourage guys to take shots when they present themselves.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Nick King.
Coach, you had talked about Devin. You knew he would bounce back, and just speak to his performance today.
Yeah, he was pretty efficient. 4 for 5 from 3. I'm glad he took those looks from the 3-point line. Not only that, I thought, defensively he was, locked in on that side of the ball. But it was good to see him, knock down some buckets tonight against some physical, athletic defenders. They had all kinds of guys on him tonight, and he was the one guy that he and DA was 9 for 12. Devin was 12 for 24. Like, those guys were pretty sound on offense.
A quick follow. Torrey obviously had a quality game off the bench, but just you could just speak to what was when you don't have Jay and then you don't have Dario, how big they would have been in a game like this. What was missing without those two out there?
Well, I don't want to play that game. I think we know what those guys bring to the table. We were a bit shorthanded, but Frank has played well for us this year, and we've won games with him. And so that's been our mantra, and it's the mantra of the league. It's like next man up, and believe you can go out there and win the game and be productive. Yes, we missed the versatility with Jay's physicality on defense and the shooting. Dario gives you rebounding and all the stuff that he does on offense, intangibles, screening, passing, and the shooting. But those guys have to get well. We can't have them out there playing sore. So, we have what we have, and what we have is enough.
Final two questions are Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5, and Jacopo Di Francesco.
Monty, felt like things kind of got away maybe early to mid fourth quarter after I think it was a 5-point game going into the fourth. Anything during that stretch that sticks out to you as how it got away?
Not without looking at the film. When you have a team like that, 5-point deficit on the road, you're feeling pretty good about your team. I have to look at the film, but scored 27 points in the fourth. But again, they had a 31-point quarter. I think we gave up 3 30-point quarters tonight. That's hard to overcome on the road. But that, again, like right before the half and right before the fourth quarter, we had our chances to tie it or make it a closer game. Even when it was around, 10-12 in the fourth, I just felt like it was 20 because we weren't knocking down shots and we weren't getting the key stops that we needed.
Final question is Jacopo Di Francesco from Italy.
Hi, Coach. Do you feel like you should have played more with Ayton in the paint, maybe especially in the third quarter, seeing the matchups?
Yeah, we tried, but, he got into foul trouble, and that hurt us. The one thing that they were doing pretty well was they were bringing their low man over when he was at the rim and taking him out. And we were passing it to open shooters, and we couldn't knock down shots. So even though he didn't get the ball, he generated offense for us. And that's what he does. His dives at the rim usually lead to production on the backside. So just one of those games where you wish you could have taken advantage of it more because he was pretty efficient tonight. He was 9 for 12 from the field. That's a really good night for DA.
All right, Book, first up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Thanks, Palmer. Devin, just your assessment of today's game. You guys had an early lead in Brooklyn, got a lead there late third, and just your assessment of how the game went.
It was a dogfight. Obviously, they're a very talented team that's playing well. Like you said, I feel like we started off pretty well. They just continue to make shots. I think we had a lot of miscommunications on a lot of our switches, and that's that.
Quick follow. You talked about having a winning record on a road trip, what makes a successful one. You guys got a chance to do that tomorrow against the Nets, and just how much the mindset is. Hey, look, let's finish the road trip the right way and get a win tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the last thing we said when we broke it down in the locker room. So, we're gonna be ready for tomorrow.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Gina Mizell.
Hey, Book, there was that stretch at the end of the first half where you guys were up by 13 and then it's 2 at halftime. Are those stretches a stretch you can look at as a team and realize the margin of error against teams like this?
Yeah, teams can make you pay for that. Closing out quarters is, something that we've been working on, throughout the season. And, we were poor with it today. Going into half, it would have been a lot better being holding that lead.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Hugh Hopkins.
Hey, Book, Monty has talked the last couple of days a lot about just not only the physical stamina it takes at this time of the regular season, but also the mental fortitude it takes as well. As someone who's kind of going through this part of the season in this type of playoff race for the first time, just what are you learning about what it takes to just have just that mental stamina as a team, like every single game, especially on a tough road trip like this?
You just have to be locked in. you have to be ready for the matchup, every night. There's no nights off in this league. We always said, when we win a lot of games, I always say it's hard to come by a win in this league. So, it's not just going to walk up on us and creep up on us. We have to go get it.
Next two will be Hugh Hopkins with Sky Sports and Jacopo Di Francesco.
Hi, Buck. Thanks for talking to us today. The best teams in the league this season are shooting efficiently from three, the most efficiently in the league. In this game, you only shot 35% from three. So how important is it to the rest of the game and the rest of your game when threes are going down?
Oh, yeah, that's what the game has turned into, spacing the floor and, shot-making ability. We've had nights where we've hit a lot of shots, but, it's not always going to be like that. We've always said we want to rely on our defense and get stops. And, that was kind of a trouble for us tonight, but that's what we try to rely on night in and night out.
Final question is Jacopo Di Francesco from Italy.
Hi, Devin. And I wanted to ask you something like, what do you need to improve coming into the playoffs? What is something that you've been working on, you as a team?
Pretty much everything. It varies night to night, closing out games, closing out quarters, and just being consistent, on the defense. And I think offensively we'll be in pretty good shape. But if we rely on our defense, that puts us even better shape.
All right, Torrey, we're going to start with Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Real quick, two things, Torrey. First, there was a stretch there. You guys had a 13-point lead, and they got cut down to 2 at the half. And then they got up 5, I'd say, in the third, and they stretched it out to 16. How significant were those 2 stretches and towards what happened today?
They were huge. For us, when we get a lead, we got to learn to play better with the lead, and just know how to keep it and stay composed. But credit to those guys, man. They made plays, they made shots the whole game, and they were the better team tonight.
Quick follow, saw the end of the game against Boston with you and Tristan, and then you respond today, or you come back today and get 22 short of your career high. Did any of that from the other game play into how you played today or not?
No.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports and then Gina Mizell.
Hey, Torrey, to the stretch that Dwayne was talking about with your years in Denver and making deep playoff runs, how important are those types of stretches for teams to have success?
They're critical. Those type of stretches can win or lose you games. So especially in the playoff, when every possession matters, every play matters. So yeah, we can just use this game and learn from it and try to bounce back tomorrow.
Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com and then Hugh Hopkins.
Hey, Torrey, to kind of that point overall, just now 4 out of 5 games into this difficult road trip, just what do you feel like you guys are learning as a group, or what you have learned over the past week that's going to help you down the stretch?
I think a big thing for us is finishing quarters, the end of quarters, not letting teams go on a run at the end of quarters, maintaining the lead going into halftime, and then coming out in those first couple of minutes of the third quarter, kind of setting a tone and playing from there. We have the tendencies to let teams go on runs toward the end of the quarters or the end of the halves. So I think we do a better job in that category. That helps a lot.
Next is Hugh Hopkins with Sky Sports and then Jacopo Di Francesco.
Hi, Torrey. Thanks for talking to us today. 3-point shooting was important in the loss tonight. You hit 2 out of 4, and you're shooting really well since you joined Phoenix. You're above 50% since you joined the team. So how important is it having good passes to sort of get the ball to you in the right spot as a shooter?
It really don't. The pass helps, but it's not that big of a deal. We practice all the time. Bad passes, it's part of your practice. Sometimes the coach or whoever's working you out throw you bad passes on purpose, just so it could be more game-like, because you're not gonna get a perfect pass every single time. So you got to know how to catch and shoot with different types of passes.
That's great. Thanks.
Next up is Jacopo Di Francesco from Italy, and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hi, Tori. And what is the biggest thing you've noticed about this coaching staff? I mean, on the second unit, Cameron Payne wasn't in a good situation. You can say the same about Javonte. You got cut. And so what is the thing that make you blossom into this unit?
The coaches believe in you and they give you opportunity. And with somebody like me, that's all I can ask for is opportunity, and just try to take full advantage of it. So, and I think Coach has done a good job of giving all the guys opportunity to showcase their ability on how they can help the team and contribute to winning. So that would be the biggest thing I would say.
Say hi for me to Coach Foyce.
Okay, I got you.
All right, Tori, final question is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Torrey, having gone through this with Denver in terms of building towards a playoff situation, what things are you seeing with you guys now that maybe you take from Denver and say, okay, if we apply those things to this situation, then we'll be in good shape moving forward?
I don't know if I can take something, because it was two different teams. So we just got to do a better job with player personnel, making it difficult on guys, and just continue to play the way we play. I mean, we're fine. I mean, we lost 2 in a row, but we looking to bounce back tomorrow. And it's nobody said it was going to be easy. I mean, we come into each game, know what to expect. We know how good teams are, and we know what we need to do. And I think we've been doing a good job of playing consistent basketball pretty much all year, and trying to focus, stay in top 10 offensive, defensive in the league, and that's going to help us and carry us out throughout the playoffs.